Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative Two-Time Mom, and in this video we're going to be talking about homeschool plans in case of an emergency. So this is video number 4 in the Homeschool Co-op series, and the question this week is, how do you plan for what you're going to take in case of an emergency? There have been so many natural disasters and warnings and things going on lately, from Hurricane Matthew going on in the east to Southern California had an alert for an earthquake last week. So there's just been a lot going on environmentally, and it's a really good time to be thinking about what are your emergency plans. What do you need to grab in case of a natural disaster, in case of an evacuation? What is your plan? And I have to admit, before this assignment, I hadn't really given it much thought. We don't live where there's tornadoes, we don't live where there's hurricanes, but we do live in California, and there is a huge risk for an earthquake. We are very, very overdue for an earthquake. My mom and my son were actually on the coast this summer when they were in the middle of I think it was a 6.5 earthquake, which in my mind is not huge, but definitely enough to be a wake-up call. And so I know that there's, not to be fearful, but to just be aware and start thinking, okay, what is our plan? Do we have a plan? Now, one of the hardest things for us is because our biggest danger is earthquakes, and there is absolutely no warning for an earthquake. I know in Southern California they said, okay, be on alert, there's potential of an earthquake, but it's not like a tornado. You don't have a lot of warning, but you can see it coming from the sky. And an earthquake, it's just bam, you are in the middle of an earthquake. So I started thinking, okay, I'm not going to have time to make decisions when this happens. So what is our plan? And some of the plans that I'm going to mention are just good all around parenting plans, not just homeschooling, but okay, do I know where the kids' social security cards are? Do I know where their birth certificates are? Do I know where our medical insurance stuff is? And so those 3 things in particular were things that I want to gather in an envelope so that I have birth certificates, insurance on the house, and medical insurance, social security cards. We're going to prep an envelope, probably just a manila envelope, that will sit inside of our file cabinet and has all of that important information that we can just grab. Now, where our file cabinet is, I believe will probably be pretty easy to get to, but I'm not going to be able to take the entire file cabinet, so I want to have those really, really essential items put together in an envelope that I can just take and run with, because in the event of an actual emergency, I want to have hard copies of that kind of stuff, as well as any bank information is probably something else that we will put into that envelope. So that's basic parenting, family preparation. We are also working on building up a stockpile of a 72-hour emergency kit with water, food. I don't have any kids in diapers anymore, so that kind of relieves that, but just an emergency type style kit to have in the house. Now, as far as homeschool stuff, I had to really think about this, and I thought, what would be important enough for me to go back into the house or to grab if I really had to evacuate? And honestly, there is very, very little that I would grab in case of an emergency. Some people have said, I have this collection or I have that collection. For me, it's all replaceable. It can all come back. I think my priorities would be, this is going to sound a little short-sighted, but my priorities would be, what is your immediate math book? What is the math book you're working in right now? And what is your immediate language arts? And that's all we're going to take. Those can be shoved into a backpack with some pencils and some extra paper, and we are out of here. maybe a current book to keep you busy, but we are out of here because everything else can be replaced. Probably not very quickly, but I don't have anything else that would necessitate me taking a chance. There was one other thought that I had, and that is that I keep, not necessarily a portfolio because we go through a charter, but I keep a memory scrapbook for each of the kids of their school years. We take pictures on field trips or special projects or science fair projects or whatever, and I keep in that scrapbook. That in and of itself is not super important in case of emergency. However, one of the things I do keep in there is their printed grades from the charter every year, and that is something that I would want to definitely have. Their enrollment papers, in case there's ever any question about why they weren't in school, and their current grades or any grades that they have had documented, so that if anything comes up and I need a hard copy of that, I can say, here's a hard copy. Noah has finished 4th grade, he's finished 5th grade, he's now enrolled as a 6th grader, or Josiah is currently enrolled as a kindergartner, this is where he's enrolled. So I would grab those school scrapbooks. Other than that, I think we would just grab the immediate classwork that we are doing, because really anything else in my mind, it'll come out. It'll be okay. So that is our emergency plan. We're putting together all our insurance stuff, all hard copies of all our birth certificates and stuff like that. And I'm making sure that their school scrapbooks are in line and someplace that I can easily get a hold of them. Leave me a comment down below. Is this something you've thought about in your homeschool? I know that a lot of classrooms will do drills, you know, tornado drills or whatever. We as homeschoolers have talked about what would we do in case of a fire and what would we do in case of an earthquake. But most of the time that's not something that would just immediately come to mind. The other day I just thought, oh my gosh, we're a school. We need to start teaching our kids about what would you do in case of a fire. So do you have any plans, and what would you grab? What is your emergency have to get out of the house if we're going somewhere? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if there's anything I'm forgetting. Hope you guys enjoyed this co-op video, and thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye guys.